Welcome to AI Trend Talk.
I'm Isaac.
And I'm Alice. Today, we're talking about an NBA basketball game with a lot of anger, a very expensive new logo for a power company, and a late-night earthquake in Taiwan. Let's get started.
Yeah, we are looking at three very different stories today, but they all have something in common.
Right. In our deep dive today, we're going to see what happens when people get a big surprise. When they expect things to be normal, but suddenly the rules change.
Exactly. And to begin, we are heading straight to the basketball court. Right now, internet searches in Taiwan are completely full of news about the NBA playoffs.
So for anyone listening who is maybe new to basketball, the playoffs are the most high-pressure part of the entire sports year.
Yeah, they really are. The regular season is over, and only the best teams are left playing against each other to win the championship. Every single game matters.
I mean, the tension is just huge. And the series catching everyone's attention right now is the game between the Oklahoma City Thunder and the Los Angeles Lakers. Specifically, we are looking at Game 2.
Right. Now, if you just look at the numbers, the result seems very simple. The Lakers lost the game. The final score was 107 to 125.
Yeah, and losing by 18 points is, well, it is a pretty big gap in a professional basketball game. But the final score is absolutely not why this game is trending online today.
No, not at all. The real story is the emotional drama happening on the court. The Lakers players were incredibly angry about what they felt was totally unfair treatment.
Exactly. In fact, after the game ended, the players did not just walk away. They actually surrounded the game officials on the court to complain.
They were visibly furious. The players felt they were not being protected or treated fairly by the referee.
Oh, let's pause right there. The word is referee. It means a person who makes sure players follow the rules in a sports game. Example, the basketball players were very angry at the referee for making a bad call during the game.
That is a great example. And, when a team loses trust in that official, the entire game just falls apart.
Right. So to understand why the players were so frustrated, we have to look closely at what actually happened. Let's start with a player named Austin Reeves.
Ah, yeah, Reeves. He is a very popular player for the Lakers. And he actually played a fantastic game on a personal level. He scored 31 points.
Wow. 31 points. That is really impressive.
It is. That was the highest number of points anyone scored in the whole game. But instead of celebrating, he told reporters he felt humiliated.
Humiliated. Like he felt deeply embarrassed and disrespected in front of everyone.
Exactly. He explained that a specific thing happened during a jump ball. A jump ball is when the official throws the ball high into the air and two players jump to try and hit it.
Right. It is how they restart the play sometimes.
Yeah. So Reeves wanted to stand in a very specific spot to get a good position. But according to Reeves, the official suddenly turned around and aggressively yelled right in his face.
Oh, wow. Just yelled at him.
Yeah. And in professional sports, feeling respected is just as important as the score. Reeves pointed out that there was a double standard.
What do you mean by a double standard?
Well, he said he is always polite to the officials, but he felt certain that if he, the player, had yelled at the official like that, he would have been punished immediately.
Ah, I see. He would get a technical foul, which is a penalty for bad behavior.
Right. Reeves believed the official knew he acted badly. That is why Reeves was not punished for complaining, but the experience just left him feeling completely disrespected.
And the tension did not stop there, did it?
No, the physical roughness of the game was also a huge issue. A Thunder player hit Reeves very hard. Reeves fell to the floor in a lot of pain.
Ouch.
Yeah, and then there was another major problem involving LeBron James. LeBron scored 23 points. Late in the game, he threw the ball up to score while a defender hit his arm.
Oh, I know this rule. In basketball, that is often called an and one, right? If the official blows the whistle for a foul while you shoot and the ball goes in, it counts. Plus, you get an extra free throw.
Exactly. That is how it usually works. But this time, the official said it was just a regular foul before the shot. So the basket did not count at all.
Oh, the Lakers coach must have been so angry.
He was. He just threw his hands up in the air in total disbelief. It felt like the rules were changing. LeBron James only got 4 chances to shoot a free throw in the entire game.
Yeah, I saw that. Overall, the Lakers had 21 free throws while the Thunder had 26. But I have to ask a question here. I am looking at the math.
Okay, what are you thinking?
Well, the Lakers lost by 18 points, but the difference in free throws was only 5 shots. Does a small difference of 5 free throws really decide a whole game, or are they just making excuses?
That is a very fair question. but it requires us to understand something called momentum in sports. Momentum is kind of like a heavy snowball rolling down a snowy hill.
Right, once it starts moving, it gets faster and bigger.
Exactly. And it becomes very hard to stop. A basketball team builds momentum when they make good plays and feel
Yeah.
the energy, but an unfair whistle from an official acts like a brick wall.
It just stops the snowball completely.
Yes. When players feel the rules are not fair, they lose their mental focus. They stop thinking about their strategy and they start thinking about the unfairness.
Ah, I understand. So it is not just about the math of 5 missed free throws. It is about a system feeling broken.
Right. When the system feels unfair, anger takes over, and that completely destroys the team's energy.
That makes perfect sense. The frustration is really about trusting the system. And, well, speaking of a system where people are feeling frustrated, we are seeing something similar online in Taiwan right now.
Oh, yes. But this time, it has absolutely nothing to do with sports. We are looking at the Taiwan Power Company.
Right, most people just call them Taipower. They're the state-owned organization that provides electricity to the whole island.
And recently, they made a major change to their company. They changed the text design on their official company logo.
So a logo is just the symbol or the special style of writing that a company uses so people can recognize them. For decades, Taipower used this beautiful traditional calligraphy style.
Yeah, calligraphy is a highly skilled kind of artistic handwriting, usually done with a brush. And this specific calligraphy was created by a very famous historical figure named Yu Yoren.
It had a lot of history. But Taipower decided it was time to replace it. They hired a famous design studio led by Ni Young Chen to create a new look.
And they replaced the brushstrokes with a very clean, modern, and simple digital font. But to make this change, Taipower spent around 960,000 new Taiwan dollars.
Wow. And when the public saw this new simple design and heard how much money it cost, it immediately caused a massive debate online.
Oh, let's stop for a second to teach that word. The word is debate. It means a discussion where people have different ideas or opinions about something.
Yeah.
Example, there is a big debate online about whether the company should spend so much money to change its logo.
Perfect. And I have to admit, I understand why people are having this debate. Almost $1 million for a new font?
Yeah, sounds like a lot.
It does. Especially because Taipower is a state-owned company. That means it uses public money. And right now, the company is actually losing money.
Right, they have a financial deficit.
Exactly. It is kind of like buying a very expensive brand new suit when your bank account is totally empty. Some people think it is a terrible idea to spend money on a visual change right now.
Your reaction is exactly what half of the internet is saying. Many people are complaining that it's a complete waste of money when electricity prices are a serious issue.
But there is another side to the story, right?
Yes, there is. To understand the other side, we have to look at corporate branding.
Mm.
Supporters of the new design argue that an 80-year-old company really needs to update its image.
I mean, that makes sense. Taipower is not just putting wires on wooden poles anymore. They are building smart grids and managing digital data.
Exactly. They are preparing for a high-tech future. So the argument is that the old traditional calligraphy makes the company look stuck in the past.
Right. Even though it is beautiful, it might not look very modern. So the new clean lines tell people the company is ready for the digital age.
Precisely. And a modern font is very scalable. It looks clean and readable on a tiny smartphone screen where you pay your bill. But complex calligraphy can look blurry on small digital screens.
That is a really practical reason.
It is. Plus, Taipower noted that the average age of their employees is now 42. Many of these younger engineers want the company to project a modern, innovative spirit.
It really shows how important a visual symbol is. People care deeply about public money, but they also want their companies to look efficient and modern.
Yeah, it is a complicated balance.
Yeah.
But while people are online arguing about logos, our sources show that the internet also has a much more important purpose.
Oh, definitely. Sometimes the sudden surprise we experience isn't about sports rules or corporate money. Sometimes it's the actual earth shifting beneath our feet.
Which brings us to our final story for today's deep dive. We are looking at the Central Weather Administration, or the CWA.
Right. This is the official government agency that people turn to for safety information. And on May 7th, late at night, exactly at 22.25, a sudden event sent thousands of people to their website.
Yeah, an earthquake struck in Kaohsiung. The recorded magnitude of this earthquake was 3.8.
Magnitude is just the scale we use to measure the energy of an earthquake. Now, in Taiwan, a magnitude 3.8 is considered quite small.
It is small, but our sources point out a very critical detail about this event. It was a very shallow earthquake. The center of the quake was only 16.9 kilometers deep under the ground.
And the depth of an earthquake completely changes how it feels to the people, right?
Exactly. Think of it this way. If you drop a giant, heavy rock deep into the center of a huge lake, you might only see tiny ripples reach the edge.
Right, because it is so deep.
But if you drop a small pebble into a very shallow puddle of water right next to your foot, it will splash you directly. Because this earthquake happened so close to the surface, the people felt the energy very sharply.
Ah, I get it. Because it was shallow, the shaking was very noticeable even though it was short. The maximum intensity was recorded at a level 2 in both Kaohsiung and Pingtung.
And for anyone who doesn't know the scale, a level 2 means that almost everyone sitting inside a building will feel it. You might look up and see the hanging ceiling lights swaying gently.
Yeah, swaying back and forth. In areas a bit further away, it was a level 1, where you might only feel a slight vibration.
Fortunately, because the overall magnitude was low and the shaking was light, we got very positive news quickly. There was no damage reported anywhere.
I'm glad you brought that up. Let's learn our final word. The word is damage. It means physical harm that breaks something or makes it less useful. Example. Luckily, the small earthquake was very light and did not cause any damage to the buildings in the city.
Perfect. Yes, because there was no damage, nobody was hurt, and all the buildings and roads remained perfectly safe.
But you know what I find really fascinating? It is how people acted in the minutes right after the quake.
What do you mean?
Well, people did not panic, but they were surprised. Instantly, thousands of people grabbed their phones and searched for the Central Weather Administration.
Oh, right. They wanted the official reports to confirm what they just felt. They wanted to check the digital maps and make sure they were safe.
Exactly. It really shows a huge shift in how we handle fear. In the past, a late-night earthquake would leave you sitting in the dark, guessing how big it was.
You would just wonder if more shaking was coming. But today, we demand instant data to calm down.
It is almost like the CWA system acts like the human body's nervous system.
That is an interesting comparison.
Yeah, think about it. If you hit your toe on a chair in the dark, your nerves instantly tell your brain exactly where the pain is. That information stops you from panicking.
Oh, I see. And technology gives our society that same instant feedback. We can look at a map within seconds and say, okay, it was only a 3.8. I am safe.
Exactly. We never have to sit in the dark and guess anymore.
That is a great point. But it is also a good reminder that while technology gives us information, it cannot stop the ground from moving.
That is very true.
So whenever you feel an earthquake, no matter how small, the safest action is always to drop to the floor, take cover under a sturdy table, and hold on until the shaking stops.
Yes, safety first. You can always check your phone for the data after you are safely under cover.
Absolutely.
So as we wrap up our deep dive today, we have looked at 3 very different stories about sudden changes. We saw a professional basketball team get angry over the rules of the game.
We explored a big public debate about a power company spending nearly $1 million to update its logo.
And we saw how a quiet, shallow earthquake sent people rushing to the internet for facts to feel safe.
And, you know, the connecting thread here is how we use information when the world surprises us. Whether we are checking basketball rules, debating the cost of a logo, or finding earthquake data, we rely on information to make sense of things.
We really do. It is all about how we react when things don't go as planned.
Here is your comment challenge for today. Do you think it is important for older companies to spend money on updating their logos, or should they keep their traditional designs? Share your thoughts with us in the comments.
Thank you so much for joining us for this deep dive today. We hope you learned something new. Stay safe, keep learning, and we will see you next time.
Goodbye, everyone. Take care.